Welcome to episode 560 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I'm Glenn.
Keeping the energy high for Glenny because it may surprise people to learn Glenny's tired. In things that are surprising. Glenny's tired. Tigers in decline.
Are you tired enough to be replaced by Anthony Griffin?
There is a chance.
Wow.
That's how tired, mate. That's how tired I am.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
It's so funny, his relationship to like the, you're looking tired.
Myself when my child signs a lucrative contract.
But isn't it funny that, like, you know, that Cleary's the one that looks tired, and then the guy that they bring in to replace him is
the
like
tiredest cunt in the history of rugby
literally
league.
the most boring cunt in the history of like. It's some people have a soothing voice, and you're like, yeah, that voice could lull me to sleep because it's really soothing. But he's just fucking bores you to death.
It's like every day this poor cunt wakes up, looks like he's cosplaying as the Toxic Avenger. It's fucking terrible. It's
just the voice work though. I mean, like everyone he speaks to, they just start nodding off mid conversation. I guess that's how you don't look like you're tired, because you're the least tired looking person in the room that you step into. So that was his strategic advantage over Ivan. Hook. Okay. So, Glenny, before you fall asleep, mate, give me the update
Jeez,
on the weekend.
Cock.
I fucking told you before we started recording what the plan was. The thing that keeps you alive and keeps you awake and keeps you fucking energized is rage.
Yes.
And so I'm just going to keep poking you with a fucking taser the entire time. And you're going to bang up against the cage. Yeah. And then we're going to hope that, the fucking door doesn't get left open by somebody. And we're just going to keep doing that and it'll never backfire on us. So.
Yeah, good.
See great touch.
See great touch. We got dusted on the weekend by the Royals. I did score a try, rather.
Oh, that was silver linings.
Yes.
Talk us through your try.
We were trying to work our way back into the game. Royals have a younger. He's not a teenager, so he'd probably be mid-20s. Younger Indigenous fella by the name of Leeroy, who is lightning fast, and he.
What's his last name?
It's Jenkins, isn't it?
It's got to be Jenkins.
I do not know his last name. I'm sorry, but he is a fucking.
If I had a Leeroy in my side, I'd be calling out Leeroy Jenkins like 25-8.
Like,
sorry, go ahead.
People would be sick of hearing a Leeroy by like 10 minutes into the first training session.
I can tell you right now, he'd actually be the most famous touch player in the world if we got hold of that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Wow, fuck! I got dropped quick.
You've had a good run.
Oh, or is that a missed
seasons?
Opportunity? We've gone with the big D's instead of Leeroy Glenkins.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not even close.
Leeroy
to being
Glenkins doesn't go charging at pace into anything.
No, definitely not. But fuck, he cut us to shreds, and yeah. But Bradley in the second half. Bradley was attacking, put a little bit of footwork on Leeroy, and threw a flick pass to Mark Kelly, who was the link inside me, who fucking shoveled the ball backwards over his head into the waiting arms of the big Diesel, who scampered the handful of metres into the corner and put the ball down. And
so hang on a minute. So it's not that dissimilar to that try that I sent you.
No,
like with the bullshit pass. I mean, what you described to me is it sounds like you've actually used that and ran that play.
Oh, it was great, but it was nothing like the level of skill that was involved in that video. So it was three old cunts just fucking willy-nilly tossing the ball about, and it looked spectacular. Unfortunately, like I say, we got dusted, but
score
10-6.
High scoring game.
Lots of tries.
Yep.
Lots of tries. But we've got Roosters this week 1 of the finals. We are going to have an all-time fucking finals run because we have hobbled into the finals.
It's a whole new competition, Glennie.
Yeah, that's what they say.
The Big D's is a final specialist.
Well, look, fucking winners win, right?
That's what they say. That's what they say. I've heard them say that. They say the Big D's is a final specialist. You hear it all the time because the Big D's is the most famous touch player known to man.
Yep. Look, I'm on board with that sentiment, but I've never heard anyone say the Big D's is a final specialist.
Well, I mean, they don't want to embarrass you or anything, so they just sort of say
I'm a very humble man, Nathan.
If you're anywhere near him, that's it. It's said in hushed tones, reverent tones.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'd agree with that. I like where your head's at. But look, not beyond the realms of possibility, but look, we're going into it. We're going into it with fuck all confidence and a bunch of injuries and a couple of players ineligible due to not playing the required amount of games due to injury or other reasons. And no performance-enhancing drugs, unfortunately. So into the finals we go, and we'll see what Saturday brings.
And so the finals are basically just like a 4-team competition. It's just like
so one versus 2,
week
3
1,
versus
week
4.
2. Yep.
So the winner of 1 versus 2 goes straight into the grand final. The loser plays the winner of 3 versus 4 to go into the grand final the following week.
So who's the team this week in 3 that you're up against?
Roosters.
Right, so Roosters. And the Royals, did they finish
second?
Okay. All right. So it's all there. It's all there. Yeah, the path is laid out. You got an easier game first up.
Oh wow!
Then you get the rematch.
Roosters have a couple of players that are like former Australian representatives. One of which is probably you describe as an aging player, but
former representative. You're saying so they're not representative. They're not rep level anymore.
Still fucking capable of carving up and has shown a tendency to do that in the games that we've played him. This season already, and yeah, good times.
He's living in the past.
And then potentially we've got to play Royals the following week if we get through the Roosters. So
revenge game.
I've said it. I've already had that conversation. Everyone's like, "You're a fucking delusional cunt."
Who finished first?
Saints.
Oh, the old enemy.
It's
written. It's fucking the tale has been written. Revenge game to finish off the season.
Tell you what.
If you can't get them fired up,
man, I've been telling these cunts we're going on an epic finals run. They're like, "Are you fucking delusional?"
These guys need does Matt Nable do cameos? Do we need him to do
just gotta believe?
And then there's this guy, Big Diesel. Fuck it! I'm getting on. I know people who know Matt Nable. You guys need some firing up.
Oh fuck! Imagine it. Anyway,
that'd be unbelievable. Have you got photos of your team, Glennie? And we'll write a script for each one for Nabes to do.
Fuck.
We need Gus Gould walking around the fucking field.
If he just says, I reckon about 8 times, he's like, and this guy, fucking injured. And what about this guy? Fucking injured.
And there's this guy, never first picked on any team he's ever played for. But he's got a motor.
He's got a motor like a 3-cylinder Daihatsu.
Very reliable and made in Korea because he's Korean. Speaking of Korea, aren't you glad it's not Malaysia? Because chugga chugga. Do you hear that?
Here comes this guy. Not injured, just shit.
Then there's the guy that works with the D's. No, it's not Tom Hanks' stunt double from Philadelphia. It's the flick pass maestro.
Fucking injured. Currently held together by Band-Aids and paddle pop sticks.
Obviously in the C grade touch, they're not going to go too hard in the world of strength and conditioning and sports medicine. But did anyone ever suggest at any stage that you can't perhaps drink a glass of milk or two? I swear to God.
Currently, Bradley has an Achilles problem, an ankle problem, a hip problem, a lower back problem, and an ongoing fucking knee thing. It's like, fucking, we're going to wheel you out.
That's the price.
Jesus,
that's the price of getting old.
The guy,
fucking into what?
The guy from RoboCop looked better when they found him.
Oh, you're just going to fucking send a bunch of cunts out wrapped in kinesiology tape.
Oh, you know what you need to do? You need to get a message to Benji, and you could, and see if he's got any of those fucking power bands left over from back in the day. Yeah, get some of those things.
I'll tell you what, your idea of an express episode has fallen by the wayside with this bullshit.
No, I just talk about less footy stuff
and more C-grade touch.
Exactly.
It's what this week in league is built on.
We never specified which league it was this week in.
Yeah, this week it's C-grade.
C-grade touch. Next week it's probably still C-grade because we're winning. Because we're going to fucking win this weekend.
I mean, I don't
want to say I'm going to score a hat trick, but I might even take an intercept.
You just score a disrespectful hat trick after it's all done, and you've already won the game.
Yeah.
Then
when everyone else has already done the work and the other team's given up, I score a hat trick.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what? It still fucking counts.
I love the idea of it.
Oh, hey, let's talk about some news stuff.
Not a lot of firm news in rugby league land this week.
Speculators, mount up.
Nice.
Oh, you're in a mood.
Let's celebrate the downfall of the Eels.
Well, we
go Storm.
In order, the Storm have granted Remus Smith an immediate release to pursue an opportunity overseas.
Not playing rugby league.
So
surely he's giving that up.
You assume it's in England somewhere.
You assume England, yeah, or France.
That's it. Then the opportunity to sink the boot into Parramatta arrives.
So today, Blaise Talangi informed the club that he will not be signing with them and will be signing elsewhere. To be confirmed where it is, but all the speculation is the Panthers.
Yeah. Who obviously have a hole in a couple of key positions and money to spend after players moving on at the end of this season. All of the talk around Parramatta so far has been that, he has to be their number one, and Gutho's happy to move, and the club's
that was almost like a concession. Yeah, it was like one of the things that they were conceding that they would do, to keep him around, because apparently Gutho's so fucked with his knees and everything, he has to have them drained to play.
Yeah, wow.
Every week. So that tells me that he doesn't have a fuckload of time left in him anyway.
Yeah.
So
it looks like the options he had in front of him with a spare spot that he could slot into and the money was Newcastle, the Dragons, and the Dolphins. But Penrith at the moment looks to be in the box seat. However, let's cast our mind back to the Fafita signing debacle, where everything was being reported as, done deal, everything's done, all but the signature, and the signature never came. So,
the more interesting story though with Penrith though is the stories that Brian To'o is unhappy, well not unhappy, but he's restless and looking to eject. From the club.
Yeah, it's a situation where he re-signed, while he was valued, obviously, but obviously now believes he is worth much more money.
Well, the contract that comes in next year is actually much more money.
Yeah,
I mean it's like it's like $620 or $650 or something like that, which is like pretty for a winger who never plays fullback.
Yeah,
it's probably for a pure winger. It's pretty high amount of money. I mean, is he worth more? Probably, because I mean he plays. I guess he plays one tackle a set like a prop too, doesn't he?
Yep.
And the fact he's probably the best winger at the moment going around, at least in what he does in that Penrith system, what he brings. But yeah, what the speculation is that he's sort of been chatting to his boys, watching the ones that left, and reuniting with them
in Origin
during Origin camp and things like that. And while I don't think he's, but then also heard that there was talk that the players weren't exactly happy. It's not like a rebellion or anything, but they weren't exactly happy with how matters around Stephen Crichton were dealt with either before he left, and resulting in him leaving. So I don't know. It's funny. It is funny though watching because that one's a very very speculative, unconfirmed thing. But there's so much smoke out there that whether he leaves or not, there's got to. I mean, he didn't turn up at training today. So there's definitely conversations being had. Panthers obviously under no pressure at all to release him.
No,
but it probably solved a lot of fucking problems though too. I mean, getting Toto out of there. I mean, it creates problems, or it certainly creates a deficit in terms of the field and playing. But in terms of like salary cap management, not having to have to pay him when the new contract kicks in.
Yeah, 100%.
That's because this is the thing. This is how teams stay together. They stay together either by payments under the table or by a group agreement to play for fuck all, like as little as the NRL accept as market value. So
look, the other thing is, he's talking to guys in Origin camp about what they're on.
Yeah,
and the ones in question have gone to the Dogs on big money, with big responsibility.
Yeah,
we've all been full of praise for Stephen Crichton and how he's developed into a leader on the field, especially since he's gone to the Dogs. But at the end of the day, no one's bigger than the club. Like, I love Bizza, absolutely fucking love Bizza. But for him, all he's seen is his mates leave.
Yeah.
And this is that thing. Any player that helps you win a ring, let alone fucking 3 of them in a row, chase your bag. Chase your bag. Get as much fucking money as you can, and you will be a life member of the club. That's all you can say.
A lot of these guys won premierships so early in their career that they probably only played like 100 games.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Panthers' life membership qualification is. But
well, it's fucking three in a row. 3 in a row.
Yeah,
if you were part of those 3 teams, I don't care if you've played 3 games.
Well, that's that's you and people on Twitter with 3 trophies in their Twitter name, but which I tell you which is almost as much of a look as like the drop of water and some of those other things that people put in their Twitter names.
The racehorse.
As far as cunts to be avoided at all costs.
Oh God.
But yeah, look, we'll see how it shakes out. It's a fucking crazy time of year though, with like some chaos sort of brewing, and I guess it comes to we sort of, the season's winding down, and there are definitely teams in the competition at the moment that know that their season's over and they won't be making the finals under any circumstances. So then they start to, maybe while their season was still alive, they're kind of like, look, we can get it together, we can play finals. But now it's sort of become clear in some cases that they can't play finals football. They're just like, oh, fuck this. Yeah, I think Stefano's like in that boat. Like, fuck this. We might as well move on to Stefano as well.
What a segue.
Glenny. He, I don't know what the order of events were, whether the Tigers pulled the deal or he told them first. But the first I saw of it was a wonderfully brief and cunty statement by the West Tigers. That was just like, Stefano Atoikamano will not be playing for the West Tigers in 2025.
We wish him all the best with his future endeavours.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, actually. I loved it. I mean, it was probably straight Richo.
It was the email you used to get in corporate when someone has been walked.
Yep.
When someone's fucked up that badly, or said something inappropriate and been automatically walked. They were always wished all the best or wished well in their future endeavours.
Yep.
So
that's it.
I believe the sequence of events was they offered him $4 million.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to sign somewhere else. They said, hang on. Whatever it is, we'll match it. And he went, ha, ha, ha. It's actually for a lot less.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was, and it does turn out to be a lot less, but the money that he is being offered now is about the same. As far as I've heard, it's about their 3-year deals, around $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So not shit money, but not the money that he was being offered at the Tigers. But also, like, Tigers was $4 million over like 5 years or something as well. So I think that what he's doing, obviously he wants to win, he wants to play State of Origin and all that shit. I think the other thing is that we also know that there's new teams coming into the competition in the next couple of years as well. So I think there's a little bit of him backing himself, like, I'll take the shorter deal, still make good money, take a 3-year deal, new teams are coming in, and at that point, then I've established myself at a good club as one of the best props in the game. This is his thinking.
Like for a new club coming into the competition, what they really would be looking for to build their franchise around is a prop that has fucking 6 runs for 48 metres on $800K a year. Now that's how you build a fucking club. Get the fuck out of here. Don't let the fucking door hit ya when you fucking get your ass out of this club and your pissant fucking effort and your bullshit comments in the fucking media. Get the fuck out.
Nice.
Run a whole lot more than your 48 fucking metres a week. Run further than that, please. Further away from the club.
So Glennie, now that it's all coming down and the season's gone anyway, I mean, are you just playing him in Reggie's?
Oh, honestly, who fucking cares? Like, have you seen the Tigers play? Who fucking cares? We've won 4 games. We've won 4 games
like 3 in a row or something at the start. Didn't they win 3 in a row earlier this year?
Part of the reason for that is because the fucking prop forward that we've pinned all our hopes and dreams on runs for about 50 metres a week.
So where does that put you in the terms of, you've obviously got...
Last.
Well, yeah. So you've got Leeroy coming next year, but then you also lose somebody that he would look very good playing off the back of.
No, he wouldn't. Because the cunt runs for less than 50 metres a week.
If
they also might get.
Big Diesel could run for more than that.
If he was enjoying his football, like if he was playing his potential.
Do you think that there is Do you think there's an aspect of this, Glennie, that where he's just like mentally, checked out?
Well, that's weak as piss, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, do you think that's possible?
Oh,
because he certainly didn't get offers. Because he certainly didn't get offers of $900,000 a year or whatever it was, because he was making 60 metres a game.
Put it this way,
not 60, about 50.
50. Okay. I mean, because that is the sort of thing that Pascoe would do.
Because there's nothing quite like a prop that comes into a big game where the Tigers are looking to fucking, start strongly against a really strong pack, and your fucking spearhead of your forward pack, his first 5 movements in the game are fucking 2 penalties and 3 errors for $900,000 a year. Fuck out of here. Anyway, sorry, back to your question about Leeroy.
Well, I was just going to say, where do you feel that places the club? Does it damage their recruitment chances for a replacement, or is Leeroy coming enough of a draw card, do you think?
Or do they get TWiL in, and then he does all those prop meters anyway from the wing?
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fucking sentiment I can get
That's
behind.
The Giga Brain move, right?
Yeah. But I don't think the Tigers' recruitment, outside of offering people way overs that have,
which is kind of, but that's where they're at though. I mean, clubs get in that position, and then
I don't think anyone was really looking at signing with the club to play with Stefano, and I would imagine that probably changes when you think of Leeroy. I would say, and Appy, but there's plenty of other good players that players will want to go to other clubs for to be more successful. So if players are chasing money and the Tigers can pay overs, then they'll play there. If not, we'll end up with the fucking 90% of fucking numpties that are currently wearing the jersey.
Yeah. It's a fascinating question.
Actually, I take that back. The thing is, they're running a lot of fucking kids. And you know what kids need? A leader. And you know what Stefano's not? A leader. So, fuck that guy.
All right. Big D's. Signing off.
Fucking see ya. We look forward to you fucking absolutely demoralising us with your 46 metres, 5 penalties and 4 drop balls when we play revenge games against you next year.
So where do you think he ends up?
Penrith.
It's two. It's down to the Storms and the Dogs. The Dogs are a late entrant into the sweepstakes, but apparently he wanted to play. I think he was attracted to Bellamy as a coach originally, but then there's a move to Melbourne required with that, and I think his missus is keen to stay in the area or in Sydney at the worst case. So the Dogs have heard that and they've jumped in, and apparently the offers are pretty much identical.
Did they hear the words "the area"? And go, well, that's where we're from.
Yeah. And so they, we guys like me live in the area.
We're from the area.
Yeah. And so I think that the Dogs are a very good chance. It just depends how whipped by the pussy he is. But I think they're very good. They're a very good chance. I heard an interview with someone saying that the Storm's presentation and everything to him like was blew him away and showed him like how much that they wanted to get him in there and what they could do for him and things like that. But I think the Dogs.
I wonder if part of the presentation was them illustrating the aftermath of a 48 metre 3 penalty and 4 errors performance once you return to the dressing room. Was it just like blood splatter on the dressing room wall? They just show that? Oh fuck, we put that slide in.
I feel we put
that in. We didn't mean to do that as part of our fucking PowerPoint.
That's like one of those like for internal use only slides that they don't actually put on the main presser.
Fuck's sake, Craig, why did you put that in there?
So don't be surprised if it's the Dogs. And the thing about the Dogs is they buy everybody, but they're also they seem to be very like ruthless and kind of flexible in terms of their roster, trying to get it right. And so if they got him and they paid him, what was it, the $2 million over 3 years, then they would just cut Josh Curran, someone else. They would just cut players, to make that money up.
Salary, yeah,
yeah. So I mean they're pretty
surely not Josh Curran.
Well, you would hope not for their sake, but I mean I would be interested in talking to Josh Curran if he hit the market.
But there's that thing, Lenny. That are you better off getting rid of three other players to make up the salary, or one? What's your depth like? Can you replace those three?
Are you talking from the Tigers' perspective?
No. From the Dogs.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's fair.
But, yeah. Anyway, shall we get into some games?
Oh, I just also say finally on the player movement thing. Apparently, Dylan Walker is leaving the Warriors to play for who the fuck cares.
There we go.
Next, what are we doing next? How you going, Glennie?
I'm doing all right so far. Thanks for asking.
Right,
because this one's yours.
I just want to check. We're going to go through these games quickly, okay? For the sake of Glennie. But the first one we got to talk about is over in Auckland, and the Tigers went down to the Warriors, 28-16, at Ghost Scaffold Stadium. I have marked on my Google Maps, and I'm throwing a fucking TWiL tourist sticker on there later this year at an indeterminate time.
Fanua Blake. There's a prop that you can fucking.
Are we just naming players? Are we? Ali Lauatiti.
No,
I have Feka Paliacina.
Shut up. Yeah, Fanua Blake absolutely fucking destroyed us through the middle with every touch. We didn't have any forwards that did that. That pretty much summed the game up. Harris Tavita got over his goal kicking yips. Kicked a few.
How good were the fucking cheers?
Yeah, same.
When he fucking
Loved it.
I love those fucking moments in sport. I love those fucking moments in sport when the entire crowd has just decided, no, we will not fucking boo this cunt who could very well cost us the game against a better side. And it's like they've won the fucking prelim final when he kicks a goal. It's fucking sensational.
But it does smack of the retarded kid, giving him the ball in the last play of the game after the season's, like it's a little bit like that too. So it's fun from the crowd perspective. It's also kind of a backhand.
I tell you, if you got an opposition club playing that can't kick goals and they're at your ground before they line up to kick it, play that "What the fuck is going on" song from the blind kid that wants to play gridiron video.
For the Tigers, Papali'i finally did something. Still waiting for Latu Fainu to do something. Anyway. Another week, another fucking loss.
Glenny, 40 missed tackles. 40 missed tackles.
Shocked me.
But everything else, like you would look over at that game and you would be saying, oh, well, we completed at 80%, which was better than them. We had 49% of possession, which is about even. But
won the second half.
Yeah, just.
Filled our fans with existential dread every time we fucking gave away a fucking dumb penalty when we're under the pump.
You've turned, Glennie. This is like you've hit the turning point of the season.
Yeah, but again, the penalty count was 4-all. You gave away 4 penalties.
Yeah, which is surprising for Peter Goff, and I guess that's because it wasn't a Parramatta game.
Yeah. Errors were 12-10. But it really was, to your point, Glennie, those there were 40 missed tackles, and they nailed you on run meters.
Mm. Yeah.
You know?
How many run meters did fucking Fanua Blake have? Not fucking 6
467.
Runs for 48. Yeah. Not 6 runs for 48 meters, that's for sure.
His run total and meter total, and yards after contact. But meters after contact.
He was that good.
They were all actually, that was Stefano's entire total for 2024 season.
He ran for more meters over the try line than Utuikamanu did in the entire game.
There you go.
All right. Are we doing socials?
Let's just go through them. We'll get to them next week. We'll let Glennie get some sleep tonight.
All right. The doggies. Fucking 41 to feed the Broncos 16 in their own house.
We forgot the Storm Eels game. We're not doing that.
Did I? Sorry. Oh, sorry. My mistake. Okay, sorry.
Well, let's forgot
the Storm. No, fuck it. The Storm smashed the Eels 32-14, which is crazy because I think that first probably 35 minutes from the Eels was the best 35 minutes they played all season. Some of the most dominant 35 minutes of any team has produced over another team in the competition this season, and they found a way to lose a guy to the bin and be down at halftime despite all of that. And in the second half, obviously they started the second half with 10 minutes with a guy off, and they proceeded to get the deep purple Dickon.
Pretty happy for how Ryan Pappenhausen is warming into his time back in the Storm side. Impressed with Tyron Wishart, and Storm just did what they did. They probably took their lumps early on and took whatever Para needed to throw at them and fucking return serve to full effect and just show that they're far more classy and just a better overall football team at this this stage of the season. And
than the 16th place team.
Yeah,
the first team is better than 16th.
I know.
Para
that's why
Para's
you're
ceiling
this expert level.
No, it probably speaks to where the fuck Para at, given they've sacked their coach and they're currently, they're currently being fucking headed up.
Bleeding juniors.
Yeah.
exactly.
Is Trent Barrett still in charge? What's he doing? Have they
of course
sacked
he
him
is.
yet? Yeah.
No. Trent Barrett, he's there till the end of the season, which we know will be the last week, the last round of the competition, and no further.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, fucking 2 years removed from a grand final to that. So.
I hate to see it.
It's the curse. It is the fucking
but
curse.
Speaking of years removed from a grand final, how about 1 year removed from a grand final? The Doggies fucked on the Broncos 41-16 at Suncorp Stadium after holding a narrow halftime lead, and did not see that amount of points coming from the Doggies against the Broncos. Absolutely fucking smashed.
Especially given the Broncos scored a try in the 75th minute to fucking
I was just
even make it that close.
Yeah.
With some context, that 6 points of that came with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, that second half was an absolute bloodbath. Disrespectful field goal as well, let's not forget.
Yep.
Credit where it's due.
Broncos are fucking reeling from Reynolds' time out of the side. God forbid anyone could utter the words that the man is injury prone.
Yeah, I mean, how dare you, for starters. One, how dare you.
How dare you.
Now, are the Broncos at this point, like what are they, like 4 points, I think, adrift of 8th place now? Are they on 20? Yep. Are they...
You're lucky you're fucking tired, Glennie, or you would be copping a full-blown raw dog
full
ladder predictor.
Ladder predictor next week, though. Let's lock it in. Ladder predictor next week. Do you think that the Broncos are out of it with 20 competition points at this stage?
They're still, as they say at this stage of the year, they're a mathematical, right? But the way two
games behind. But even in the worst case scenario for a side ahead of them on the ladder, I mean, there's still like. They're going to be about sort of 80 points, let's just say 80 points adrift in terms of for and against as well. So I'm not fully prepared to pop bottles.
They have a positive for a much better for and against as well.
Yeah, so I'm not ready to I'm not prepared to start popping bottles just yet, but we're almost there. Give it another week or two, and I may be. And some big games coming up for the Broncos, but we'll get into that as well. They've got a string. I think they've got three of the quote unquote derby games.
Yeah, and they've got the Titans and the Dolphins, and
the Cowboys as well. I think so. And so they're games that they could very easily fucking lose, and then if that being the case, I mean they could find themselves, like bottom 4 territory as soon as Sunday night. And as I say, you hate to see it, but more than that, you love to see it. But hey, good work from the Doggies. I said that I didn't think they had that amount of points in them to beat the Broncos by that much, but they sure fucking showed me, or the Broncos fucking showed me how shit they are. And yeah. Keep it going. The Cowboys 30 defeated the Sharkies 22 up there at the Abattoir in Townsville.
Decent performance from the Cowboys, I thought.
Yeah, and it's another decent performance in a long line of decent performances.
Well, yeah, as we were saying,
they lost 2 out of about their last 8 games or something. I mean,
on paper, they're fucking stacked with talent. They got, I think more or equal number of Origin players than any other club, and they played to that effect. Everything was sensational. Interesting word. Did you hear the talks about Val Holmes leaving at the end of the season?
I did. I mean, how much truth is it? I haven't looked into it though. Is there a lot of truth in that? Or
I don't know. I could only assume that perhaps he misses all the random injections, because the word on the street was that he was booked to go back to Flano at the Dragons.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, no, well, he's been paid. I think sorry, I was thinking of something different. Yeah, with the Val Holmes situation, he's I think he's on something crazy like $900,000 or something a year. And I don't think they're getting 900 out of him really.
You wouldn't say so.
Yeah, so I think he could get not as much money because he's obviously older now and hasn't been amazing. But I think that if Flano was looking perhaps to make some changes at fullback. I think you could probably do worse if at the right price.
Yeah.
But then also you see the rumours the last day or two talking about Hammer going back to North Queensland.
Oh,
that would be a blow. That would be a huge fucking blow to the Dolphins.
I don't know how much of it is. Yeah, I don't know how much of it is shithousery on the internet or not. But
especially when everything you see about that guy, like he's still doing the fucking fin after he scores his tries. He just seems to be the beating fucking heart of that place.
Yeah.
Just on the Sharks,
crazy time of year.
Like everyone's fucking written them off. They've had patchy form. Been fucking dusted a few times in recent week. They're still fourth.
Yeah, that's because they had an easy draw and all their buys straight up. So they, they were artificially implanted at the top of the table for a while there because they had 6 free points to their name before. Some teams even had 2.
I'll tell you what, just because I did not want to spend an entire week with ladder predictor blue balls, I've just done it, and the Sharks will finish the season 3rd. So.
Yeah. That's unlikely. That doesn't compute with any ladder predictor I've ever seen.
So you look at the, not to sound like a degenerate, but I am. You look at the top 4 to win the comp. Storm at $3.75, Penrith at $2.80, Roosters at $4. 4th spot, Sharks $15.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Look, I don't think they should be in 4th spot, but I think $15 is about right.
Yeah.
Although, but here's that thing though. Look below. Any team could beat them on their day, or the other teams in the 8 at the moment. So at the moment it's Dogs, Cows, Manly, Dolphins. You can see any of those clubs trouncing the Sharks, but yet there's also an argument to be made that the Sharks have the weaponry to beat any of those teams as well. So
I don't think the Sharks are going to struggle.
It's not that much of a shock.
They're going to make the finals. They're definitely not falling out the back of the 8. I would never say that.
No, not at all.
But I think top 4 is certainly not locked in for them.
Oh, their draw's pretty fucking easy going through. It is very fucking easy going through.
But I mean, when you look at some of these games, you've got to look at more context on them because there's one game there where they're playing the Dragons, which is their derby at Wynn Stadium, the only place the Dragons win.
So will they get Rabbits, who are shit?
I don't know. But
Titans are hot and cold. Newcastle.
Titans could easily get them.
Then there's the derby you were talking about.
Yeah.
Then they've got the Warriors. And
where's that? Here or there?
Not here.
Okay.
And then they get Manly last round.
Yeah, at Brookie too. So they can smash that game for sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So they might drop 2 out of the last run home.
You got a lot more confidence in them than I do.
It's not at all confidence in them. It's just less confidence in their opposition.
Yeah.
With the Knights at the moment, still there are 6 rounds to go, and they are still trying to find a regular halves pairing. How much trouble are the Knights giving them?
Yeah. The Knights aren't the one. I think danger games for them of the teams that you'd think they should beat easily are the Dragons and the Titans.
Dragons. Yep.
Yeah. But
anyway.
But yeah, I think to get to finish top 4, I think they need to not drop those 2 variable sort of games that we're talking about. If they drop those, they're not going to make it. Because you've got teams like Doggies are going pretty good, I think, and they could sneak up there. But ladder predictor next week. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Glenny's fading before our very eyes.
Let's go.
Good win from the Cowboys though. The Roosters 34 defeated the Seeds Eagles 30 at Allianz Stadium, and what a fucking crazy game this was. The Roosters put on probably their best 20 minutes of the season at the start of the game, and it coincided with Manly players dropping like fucking flies, whether or not they were concussed or not. And then somehow, I think the start of the Roosters would probably have resulted in a 50 burger from almost every fucking side. Probably, let's say, it's probably 13 sides in the comp being conservative. I think the way that they started, the way that the speed at which they got out to like a 20 or 22 points to nil lead, and then you throw the injuries and things like that on top of it as well, And I think that was an absolute 50 burger in the making. And for the Sea Eagles to actually fucking make a game of it and have a play in the dying seconds where they were trying to pull off some magical bullshit with Gordy and Chip and Chase to almost jag a win that they did not fucking deserve was quite extraordinary. So once again, I say it most weeks, the acquisition of JC doing the strength and conditioning has been the fucking best move that club has made in the back of house for fucking years. I mean, there's not a game in this season that we've finished where, win or lose, where we haven't looked like the fresher side, and this was another one as well where the Roosters were fading late, and we started getting our shit together. Getting our shit together as much as you can get your shit together when you're playing like fucking back rowers on the wing. There was a time there we had Corey Waddell and fucking Ben Trebojevic on the wings.
Oh, it's the old Corey Patterson on the wing fucking days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, exactly. Except Corey Patterson, I dare say, was maybe a better player. But but thankfully we were able to activate the 18th man, Clayton, and get him on. And at least he's a centre / winger.
Yeah.
So we got it kind of a bit on. And this was a game where there was a time there in this game where Manly had a lot of tackles at the Roosters line, and they dominated the possession a little bit. And it's where it really, really fucking hurt. The dumb cunt Homoli got involved in that shit in State of Origin and got himself suspended because, bless him, Ethan Bullimore has a fucking motor, and I love him, and he puts in work, but he's not. When he's crashing into a line, it ain't Homoli. And when you've lost Saab, Garrick, and Homoli straight off the side of your right hand side, the Roosters very, very easily just stacked all their defence on the left hand side because they knew that nothing was coming. Nothing could come through there on the other side, and it made it a little bit easy to. It was great games from. It's a game of two halves to the Roosters players. I wouldn't recommend any of the cunts in the second half, except with the exception of Angus Crichton, who was very well contained from an attacking perspective.
Yep.
But from a defensive perspective, I mean, despite what guys like Lawton and Bullimore being smaller bodies, I mean, there was some times where tackles had to be fucking made, and he was pulling them down half a metre out from scoring a try and stuff. So he did a great job of protecting their halves.
One that stood out to me: 4 intercepts by Manly in this game. Can you remember a game where there were 4 intercepts?
No, and you go back through the season, and I would love to know what the record for intercepts in a season is by a team, because the fucking Manly side are playing like fucking prime Ryan Girdler this year. There's an intercept almost every fucking week for a try, and I don't know if any. Like, I would love to see a record on that, like team intercept tries across the season, or even just intercepts, even if they don't go for tries. But it's funny you mentioned about intercepts and whether they go for tries or not, because last week Tommy Talau got an intercept against the Titans, and he was cut down about 5 metres out or 10 metres out by Bo Firma. This game, he got an intercept, scored the try, no problem at all, thereby convincingly proving that Bo Firma is faster than Teddy in a straight foot race. So, I guess Bo Firma doesn't wear his pants down, hanging down around his thighs. So, probably gives him more of a top end speed. But,
I'll tell you, this is more a comment on the Roosters rather than the Manly. But it probably shows that it's a 2-horse race as opposed to a 3. So, in that game, the Roosters to Manly, 14 errors to 7. Yeah. 14 errors.
And that was the funny thing. Even when the scoreline was blowing out in that first half, Manly went almost all the way through to half time without making an error and without an incomplete set or anything. So they actually they played to a tidy standard. Like, it wasn't a high standard in terms of attack and everything like that. But they played. They still played it tight and kept themselves in it.
It was like so 14 to 7 error count and 7 to 3 penalty count. So the Roosters can't do that against good teams.
It was a very schizophrenic performance from the Roosters, and the first 20 minutes would tell me that they can beat anybody.
Schizophrenic or bipolar?
Yeah, bipolar maybe. It could be. We could just level it straight and say retarded. In the first 20 minutes, they could beat it. You look at that and you go, fuck, they could beat anyone in the comp. They're electrifying.
Yep.
But then the last 40, you go, that's the reason why they absolutely cannot win the comp.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
At all. So, yeah.
Exactly. Anyway.
But, yeah, look, brave. That's a so brave performance of the year so far.
Not the most interesting thing that happened on Saturday night.
Most interesting.
Tales of the Eshays and their drop.
Oh, Tales of the Eshays.
That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
Glenny's tired.
Down outside the local Coles complex. Eshays, they had a drop. They were looking for the drop. They couldn't find the drop. It was all dark.
Frantic.
They're looking in the bushes for the drop. And I don't know if you saw my text, but when I went back to my car afterwards, they were sitting on the park bench out the front of the Coles, and they're like, "We fucking call him then." Like, that's the thing. So,
no phone calls. No phone calls.
Yeah, it was interesting people watching while we were sitting there.
Oh, it was great.
At the shops. Right, Panthers 46 defeat the Dragons 10 in the obvious fucking result of the round. The foregone conclusion of the round.
And again,
up by plenty at halftime, up by plenty at full time.
6 of those points came in the 79th minute.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it was a result that I was really hoping would happen, and the Panthers were happy to oblige.
Yeah,
the Dragons are such a. Did you want to talk about bipolar? The Dragons. This is. I wonder what do their fans feel like at this stage of the season, where
they feel like cunts because
they're
that's
not very.
They're
only out of the 8 on differential at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they'll flog the fucking Warriors one week.
Yep.
And then the next, it's crazy to see this. The variability in their performances is insane.
They do have probably the biggest gap between floor and ceiling. Oh, maybe the Titans.
Yeah,
maybe the Titans have the biggest gap between floor and ceiling.
But yeah, they're one of those teams though.
Yeah, 100%. Look, from Penrith, and they do this when they have the opposition pinned, like they did. It was just a good all round performance from every position. And when the backbone of your club is everybody goes out there and just executes their job as close to perfection as they can, when the whole engine's humming like that and your opposition isn't putting up much resistance, it's a lot easier to be great at your job. So that's where you go from having, and we talk a lot about confidence players, you go a long way to having a confidence team. And that's not a team that needs everyone humming in order to win, but a team that when everyone is in humming can put on performances like that. Good to see Cleary back. He was in fine form. Interesting when Dano got knocked out, that there was no sin bin. I mean, it's something we've seen all season, and just goes back to that thing around consistency.
Well, it's the same thing where Jennings hit fucking Saab with the straight shoulder to the head and had him HIA, but nothing
That's
happened.
it. So, there is contact to the head and it was forceful enough to cause an HIA.
Yeah.
That should be enough. But thankfully didn't have any real impact on the score. Although, Dano was hitting the fucking head and sent to La La Land. I thought Little was the shining light for the Dragons. There's very little negative that I can say about his performance. He was absolutely sensational right down to the last minute. But the Dragons have Damien Cook coming next year, so, what the fuck are they going to do there?
Off the 14.
Fucking hell. There's not too much more you can go and say about that.
All right, the Titans, 21, defeated the Dolphins, 14 at Suncorp Stadium. The game of two halves to the absolute maximum. Titans went out to 14-0 deficit, and it was looking for all money. It looked like the game you'd probably expect based on, if you averaged off the performances of both sides across the season. Dolphins, just gradually keep going. But the second half problems with Dolphins continued this week. I mean, they had them last week against the Panthers, and not even second half, I guess, like sort of last 20. And the same thing happened. They let the Titans back into the game. And then at that point, it was all Titans. They managed to find a way to get up.
Yep.
And got a field goal at the end to lock it in. And
I do like the resilience of this Titans side. And I feel that's a big change in them from Titans of seasons past, where generally in games, and the Dolphins weren't blowing them off the park, but they had a lead to 0. And previously the Titans would have head-fucked themselves out of it, not been able to score, ruined any opportunity, and that game might have finished 14-0.
I mean, they accumulated those 14 points pretty quickly. Though.
Really quickly.
It was
really fucking quickly.
It was a really bad start for the Titans.
But for the Titans to not do anything at all until the 38th minute and then be able to go on with it, that's that mental fortitude that I think previous Titans teams have been lacking.
Yeah,
Titans
and
have got
a
fair few pieces too. I actually think the next couple of seasons are going to be quite promising for the Gold Coast. They're trying to build something there. I don't know if Desi, his profile's been a lot lower in this incarnation at the Titans rather than his previous tenures at other clubs, and
it's only been lower once the voices started going down because they started winning the games now and then.
Yeah,
I mean, it was pretty fucking noisy that first 6-7 weeks, whatever it was.
Yeah, but they've
built
were
close
into their
though.
season though.
Even when they were losing, they were close games. I'm not sure he was under too much pressure.
But I'll tell you, the Dolphins, pressure for them because I mean they're at the bottom of the 8 now, and just feels like their level has dropped since Wayne started coaching Souths by proxy and started making plans for next year. Look, it's undeniable. I mean, and you'd hate to see him fall out the back of the 8 again for the second year running after such strong first halves of seasons in both of their seasons.
Yeah.
Next one, the Raiders 32 defeat the Rabbitohs 12.
Raiders.
I
don't know. Raiders are a funny side as well. The Rabbitohs were starting to build, and people talking about them charging, for a finals berth, but that seems to have petered out.
You were people.
Sorry?
You were people.
I was one of the people.
It wasn't
sure.
people. It was just you.
Just me.
Just you. In all of fucking media and rugby league fandom.
I was a solo, lone voice.
Just you. For some reason, you fell in love with the 2024 Resurgent Rabbits.
Sure, it wasn't just me, but I guess this probably showed, the potential where the Raiders can be. That they haven't been there often enough this year. But there's certainly the pieces again, like I said about the Titans. There's enough in the Raiders to be a really, really strong team, and enough experience there to trouble some of those teams in the 8. But I just don't know that they can do it consistently enough to make too much noise, but handled the Rabbitohs quite nicely.
Yep, but like the Dragons and the Knights, who are kind of in the ballpark area with them, absolutely fucked for and against.
Yeah,
to overcome, as well as any competition points they need to accumulate.
Yeah, from those 9, 10, 11 teams, Dragons, Raiders, and Knights, all significant negative differential. So,
all right, let's move on to the next round. Get Glennie to bed. First up again, Thursday night, the West Tigers welcome the North Queensland Cowboys to Leichhardt.
It's one thing I know, Nathan.
Again, they traditionally always win.
Well, that's true. We always win at Leichhardt, and we always beat the Cowboys. It's what we do. It's what we've always done. Will we do it in this game? Absolutely fucking not. But
wow, we're at this point, are we? Well, we're at the point of the season where there's no longer odds on the West Tigers
winning the spoon.
Winning the comp.
Oh, winning the comp. Oh,
winning the comp. Or
there was a few years ago. Actually, it might have been 2 years ago. Every week, I was putting $5 on Tigers to win the comp from round 1 till about round 14. And I should have just bought drugs with it or pissed it up against a wall, donated it, burnt it, whatever. That was not a good practice.
For a laugh, at round 15, you should have pressed the cash out button to see what they'd offer you for your fucking $70 investment by that point.
So good. Alamalu is in the side. Too little, too late for Benji, but he's there. Hopefully, he fucking stays there. Justin Olam comes back. Look, we live in hope for Latu Fainu to do something in the 7 jersey. Will we get it this game? Probably not.
Kid's cursed. Unlucky.
Oh, Stefano. What a big fucking moment for him. To impress his new suitors with another 6-run, 48-metre, 5-error performance. Fuck out of here.
Glenn, he's so spiteful. It's like you've been briefed from the fucking big man himself. Richo's been on the line and said, listen, cunt, this is the line we're trotting out as a club this week. 6 runs, 48. Right, yeah.
As far as passive-aggressive statements, I'd leave the West Tigers fucking dead if I was just putting out press releases. Fucking please.
I bet. Move on to what's the next game here. We got the Friday pub slot game. The New Zealand Warriors take on the Eels over there in Auckland. And look, do the Eels have it in them to, pull out that first half? Given the news they've had with Blaze Talangi and everything through the week, I mean, the only thing going for the Eels, I think, from what I can see in terms of the team list, is that Sean Johnson's back in the 7.
Oh.
And we spoke about cursed players. Yeah. He's been cursed.
I believe in SJ.
Ever since he did the La Flop, he hasn't won a game. And it's almost swaying me to change my tip, but not enough. Fuck the Eels, scaffolders by 30.
You mentioned earlier that Gutho was having his knees drained. In order to take the field. What do they use to drain his knees? Like, is it a shit truck? They just suck the shit out of him?
Well, you're saying his knees are filled with shit?
I'm saying when
it's removed, he's not shit?
Entirely is full of shit.
Look, he's a wholehearted player. Gives everything to that side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Is that a Toowoomba thing? You just run around going, oh, you fucking shit knee?
Your knees are shit.
Well, you just drained. Generally when you drain something, the contents of which Gutho is fucking.
That's what you're saying.
Pure grade feces.
Normal people have knee caps. You've got shit caps in there. Fucking.
I expect Clint Gutherson to sign a fucking 4-year, $2.4 million deal with the Tigers anytime soon.
Well, not anymore because Talangi's going to leave. His position is secure at the Eels. Look, the Warriors. Dolphins take on the Roosters in Perth.
Fuck.
Look, I don't see... The second halves the Dolphins have been putting out are very compatible with the second half the Roosters put out last week.
Yeah.
So whatever the halftime score is, it's probably going to be the full-time score. And I think the Roosters will have been absolutely
comfortably
fucking caned. The way they would have walked out of that game last week feeling like they lost, they would have got fucking flogged in training this week. The video session would have been an absolute fucking embarrassing nightmare for everyone.
That's true.
And I think they're going to take it out on the hapless Dolphins. And
the good people of Perth getting their rugby league fix yet again.
Yeah, there we go. You want to talk about drained shit before they get a brand new Perth team with all the shit that's been drained sprayed all over it in the form of Bears fucking logos. Poor cunts.
Love it.
Gold Coast take on the Broncos, the first of the derbies we mentioned earlier. This one is happening at Hope Solo Coliseum down the Gold Coast. Broncos the favourite, but I tell you, the potential trouble with Selwyn Cobbo, that Channel 9 jumped the gun on and named the player and then quickly deleted all their tweets about 3 hours later because they jumped the gun.
So hang on, was it not Cobbo?
No, it was, but I don't think they were supposed to name them. I don't think they were supposed to name him.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, they named him. They named him straight away. It was like, yeah, Selwyn Cobbo got the visit, and the club didn't know. Blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, those tweets were deleted. There, the Brisbane Broncos player
so,
who hasn't been identified.
Has he been charged?
Don't know. I haven't even looked into it.
Interesting. Because that's when
questioned,
that's when the no fault stand
Correct.
down.
Yeah,
nice.
Correct. And given the things that are alleged to have happened, I mean, broadly speaking, domestic violence, generally something that the game kind of goes harder on as well.
So our usual this week in Popo can't help us. So if you are QPS, hit us up in the DMs and give us your take. We don't want anything, we don't want access to fucking cell cams or anything like that. Although if you can, we won't say no. But just your take. We want your take on what will happen. What's been alleged, how accurate it and serious it is, and the likelihood of conviction, I guess. That's it. Yeah, but with that being the case, and the Titans buoyant in a string of good form, I'm going the upset. Hope Solo. Desi and Foz, right again.
I don't know that it's that big an upset, to be honest, but I agree with you. I think the Titans will win. Yeah. It'll be a tale of Kevy's actual skill.
And that would be, and this would actually end the season for the Broncos, I reckon. I think 6 points with how many games after this week's finished?
Well, look, they've got a bye in hand.
Okay, so they got okay.
Okay,
so there's only 2 games still that they're going to be behind.
And the Knights, so they're on 20 points at the moment.
Yep.
The Knights are ahead of them on 22. However, Brisbane have what they call a Reece Walsh for and against. So it is absolute 0.
Yes. But it's going to be in the negatives this week. So big win coming up for the Titans.
Technically, the Broncos, you would say, are in 11th position, not 13th. A win would jump them up to 9th.
Yeah, provided none of those teams win.
Win.
Yeah. But all the Titans could just put 50 on them and rule them out for the season. How about that?
That's it.
That's the way I'm going. Storms take on the Dragons down at the Korean Housewife.
Storms.
Fucking Storms in great form. Storms by 1 million. They're not resting players yet. Storms by 1 million. Sharks versus the Rabbitohs.
Sharks.
I've got to say Sharks because the Rabbitohs have dropped off a fucking cliff. I feel like they had that hope before, just before and then during the Origin period. They accumulated a little bit of hope and some reasonable performances. And I was thinking with the lack of TWiL, that seemed to just... and Cameron Murray as well. That seemed to put a bit of a dart in them. And Cameron Murray returns this week. But, look...
Fuck the Sharks. I'm tipping the Bunnies.
I'm with you, but I don't think they're going to win. I'm not going to put $5 every week on that result. The Panthers take on the Knights at Penrith. Panthers by, let's be realistic with this one, 38.
There you go.
42.
And not quite the shortest favourites of the week. The shortest favourites of the week being the Storm. But, Panthers not far behind them. And I think they'll absolutely fuck the Knights so badly that their for and against is going to be irreparable over the final 4 or 5 rounds. And no matter how many competition points they think they can accumulate.
I do love it. Every fucking game matters. Every game matters. And for and against matters. That's fucking great.
Yeah, it certainly does matter for that cluster of sides, like from the Dolphins to the Titans. Let's say we're going to rule South. From Dolphins to Titans, definitely, it definitely matters, and I guess North Queensland and the Doggies to a lesser extent. All right, Doggies take on the Raiders. So this is a game that has some top 8
Doggies
consequences.
Doggies.
At Belmore. Doggies with all their players.
Big occasion.
Critters back in the side. They welcome back Josh Adokar as well.
Yep.
Raiders too erratic for me, and Dogs, big occasion at Belmore. I think Bulldogs will be way too good.
Yeah, that's it.
Agree. And Manly pick up a couple of free points from the bye.
There you go.
So it's always good to see as well. And so if the Tigers could do us a solid and smack out the Cowboys, that'd be nice, Glennie.
Don't hold your breath.
Oh no, I wouldn't dream of it. After the way that you've convinced me how shit the Tigers are tonight, with your absolute Tigers anti-fandom shining through, and vicious hatred of one of the great warriors of the West Tigers franchise in the history of the franchise, in Stefano Toikamano, absolutely turned on the lad as he seeks a better life for his family.
Well, fucking, if he wants to, he can fucking chase me down. But as long as I can run more than 48 metres, I should be all right.
Yeah, but also you can run 48 metres probably on one attempt, not 6. So while he's having a break in between attempts at getting 48 metres,
the trouble is,
48 metres,
it's also keep running. I'm an athlete, mate.
It's also about speed. So remember, he runs 48 metres per 80 minutes. So in the length of time it'd probably take Lenny to run it, he could run double that.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be scared.
We need to set this up as a track meet.
That's it.
Oh, fucking Jesus
with
Christ.
Bulletproof glass between the lanes. Because Glennie will be seething and just fucking trying to claw at him.
Do you know what? Do you know what we need?
Ticket sales for that event, I tell you.
I want to go fund me. Did you ever do at the Australian Institute of Sport the Ghost Run, where they've got a running track set up?
What the fuck were you doing?
And you could
the
run
Australian Institute of Sport.
You probably went on a school camp or something.
Normal fucking kids did.
Would they have an
I did. I did. Both my kids did. Both my kids went to Canberra in grade 6 on a school trip.
No, but fucking tell me, how awesome would an autism section of the Paralympics be?
I tell you, we could probably seriously.
I would give you a gold medal, Jay.
We spoke about it today. Imagine the gymnastics. They'd walk up, put the dust on their hands, get a fucking sensory from the dust, have to get it off. It'd be fucking phenomenal. I'd love that shit.
I feel like those issues would be overcome before they'd gone to the actual representative meet.
No, not at all.
I don't think it would manifest on the day.
They only introduced the fucking chalk at the Olympics.
and they're completely untrained athletes who actually decide a sport.
A pommel was?
Have to watch YouTube video, Mr. Beast videos and fucking what they're supposed to do. Not the ones with the dude fucks kids or whatever.
The poor cunts that are fucking on big diving. Oh, God.
All right. That's it. Glennie, go to bed. Thank you for listening. That was episode 560. See you next week.
Later.
Fuck yous.